Welcome back, coin collectors and curious minds. In today's video, we're diving into one of the most common coins you might find in your pocket change, the 1972 Jefferson nickel. You might be wondering, could this simple coin be worth more than its face value? Let's find out together. First, let's get to know the basics of the 1972 Jefferson nickel. This coin features the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse, or the front of the coin. The reverse side has an engraving of Monticello, Jefferson's estate in Virginia. The Jefferson nickel was introduced back in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The coin was designed by Felix Schlag, a German-American sculptor who won a national competition for his design. Jefferson nickels have been in continuous production since then, making them a staple in American coinage. Like most nickels, the 1972 Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs exactly 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter. You'll notice the profile of Jefferson looking left on the obverse. And "In God We Trust" inscribed along the left edge. On the reverse side, Monticello is engraved with the words "E pluribus unum" above it, and 5 cents in United States of America below. The date 1972 is featured prominently, and next to it, you'll find the mint mark, either a D for Denver or no mint mark at all if it was produced in Philadelphia. There were no nickels minted in San Francisco for circulation in 1972, although there were proof coins minted for collectors. So, what's the value of a 1972 Jefferson nickel you find in your change today? If you have a regular circulated coin, the value is typically close to face value, about 5 cents. Circulated coins are ones that have been used in everyday transactions, and they generally show some signs of wear like scratches or faded details. However, certain factors can make a 1972 Jefferson nickel more valuable than others. Let's take a look at these factors. Error coins can also be more valuable. These are coins that were misstruck during production, creating unique features that are rare and prized by collectors. Some of the common types of errors for nickels include off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on defective planchets. If you happen to find a 1972 S-proof Jefferson nickel, this could also be worth more than face value. These proof coins were produced in San Francisco for collectors and have a mirror-like finish with more detailed features. These can be worth several dollars depending on their condition. Carefully inspect the date and inscriptions on the coin for doubling. This is when the text appears twice as if it were shadowed. Double dies can be subtle, but they're valuable because they're relatively rare. Look at the surface of the coin. If it's in exceptional condition, with no scratches or nicks, it could potentially be worth more. A shiny, uncirculated coin from 1972 is rare to find in circulation. If you think you have a valuable 1972 Jefferson nickel, where can you sell it? There are a few options. These events offer a great way to interact with experienced collectors and appraisers who can help you determine if your coin is valuable. In summary, while most 1972 Jefferson nickels are worth just their face value, a few rare ones can fetch a nice premium. Remember to keep an eye out for high 1987 Jefferson nickel. We're going to explore what makes this coin unique, what to look for if you're a collector, and the current value of this vintage coin in the 5-cent Jefferson nickel is one of the longest-running coin designs in the United States. Introduced in 1938, its design was created by Felix Schlag, and it was chosen through a national design competition. On the obverse, or head side, we see Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, while on the reverse, or tail side, we have an image of Jefferson's famous home, Monticello. The 1987 Jefferson nickel doesn't stand out as a key date in terms of rarity, but each coin has its own history and variations that make it special. As for mintage, the 1987 nickels were produced in 2 main locations. When it comes to collecting coins, condition is everything. A circulated coin is one that has been used in everyday transactions, meaning it's likely to have scratches, wear, or discoloration. Since the 1987 nickel is fairly common, most of these nickels you come across will be in circulated condition, especially if you find them in pocket change. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, where 1 is heavily worn and 70 is flawless. Most circulated 1987 Jefferson nickels will fall between grades 20 and 40, meaning they'll have moderate to noticeable wear. These grades impact the value, as better preserved coins are always worth more to collectors. Produced millions of these coins. Here are the mintages. Because of the high mintage, 1987 nickels are generally easy to find, even today. However, certain varieties and errors can increase their value, which we'll talk about next. Errors and varieties are a big deal in the coin collecting world. While the 1987 Jefferson nickel doesn't have any major known varieties, there are always minor errors that can crop up. Some collectors look for these are small raised lines that result from cracks in the die used to strike the coin. They're often not highly valuable but can add a few cents or dollars to the coin's value if they're prominent. If the coin wasn't perfectly centered during the minting process, it will appear lopsided. Depending on how far off center it is, these errors can fetch a premium. In rare cases, you might find a double die error where parts of the design, like Jefferson's profile or Monticello, appear doubled. These are quite rare and can be valuable. These errors are uncommon, but it's always worth checking your 1987 nickels closely for any of these unique details. Now, let's talk about the market value of a 1987 Jefferson nickel in circulated condition. Generally, because of the high mintage and the coin's common status, these nickels aren't highly valuable. In circulated condition, errors or varieties, as we discussed, can increase the coin's value. A prominent off-center strike or clear die crack might push the value higher, sometimes up to a few dollars. Even though the 1987 Jefferson nickel may not be highly valuable, collecting these coins can still be a fun and affordable hobby. Jefferson nickels are relatively easy to find, and they offer a great introduction to the world of coin collecting. Many collectors aim to complete a full set of Jefferson nickels from 1938 to the present, which can be a rewarding challenge. If you're interested in collecting Jefferson nickels, keep an eye out for the key dates, like the wartime silver nickels from 1942 to 1945, which have a higher silver content and tend to be more valuable. So, is the 1987 Jefferson nickel worth keeping? Well, it depends. If you're a casual collector or enjoy the idea of building a collection on a budget, then yes, it's worth holding on to. You might not strike it rich with a 1987 nickel, but you're preserving a small piece of American history. Plus, who knows, you might even find an interesting error or variety along the way. 2002 Jefferson nickel. We'll explore its history, unique design features, and, most importantly, its circulating value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, you won't want to miss this. First, let's take a step back in time. The Jefferson nickel was first minted in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. It was designed by renowned sculptor Felix Sklag, honoring Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. The obverse features a profile of Jefferson, while the reverse showcases his home, Monticello. The 2002 Jefferson nickel continues this rich legacy, but it also comes with its unique twists that make it special. By the early 2000s, the U.S. Mint had been considering redesigns to commemorate the bicentennial of the Louisiana Purchase. This was a significant event in U.S. history that occurred in 1803, leading to the expansion of the United States. Now, let's talk about the design elements of the 2002 Jefferson nickel. The obverse remains consistent with the traditional design, showcasing Jefferson's portrait. However, what really sets the 2002 nickel apart is its reverse. In 2002, the U.S. Mint released the first of the Westward Journey series. The reverse of the 2002 nickel features a depiction of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The design shows a representation of the journey that Jefferson initiated. It's a beautiful homage to exploration and the spirit of adventure. Interestingly, this design was met with mixed reactions from the public. Some collectors loved the new direction, while others preferred the classic look. Regardless, the 2002 nickel holds a special place in the hearts of many. Now, let's get into the part you've all been waiting for, the circulating value of the 2002 Jefferson nickel. As of today, the 2002 nickel is still a common coin found in circulation, and you can easily find one in your pocket change. The face value of the nickel is, of course, 5 cents. However, when it comes to collecting, the value can vary based on condition and rarity. A well-circulated 2002 nickel typically doesn't fetch much more than its face value, around 5 to 10 cents. However, if you happen to stumble upon a 2002 nickel in mint condition or with a unique error, its value could increase significantly. For instance, certain uncirculated versions can sell for around $1 to $5, while rare errors could reach even higher prices. For those of you interested in collecting Jefferson nickels, here are a few tips. Always look for the mint mark on the reverse side, just above Monticello. This will indicate where the coin was minted. Additionally, pay attention to the condition of the coins. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P to mint state MS, and a higher grade means higher value. Using a magnifying glass can help you spot small details that can affect the coin's grade. So, there you have it. The 2002 Jefferson nickel is not just a piece of change, it's a reminder of history, exploration, and the evolution of U.S. coinage. If you find one, take a moment to appreciate its story. 2023 Jefferson nickel, America's iconic 5-cent piece. It may seem small, but this coin has a huge history and some incredible details that you probably haven't noticed. So if you love coins, history, or just learning something new, stick around. Our story starts way back in 1938, when the Jefferson nickel was first introduced. Up until then, the U.S. 5-cent coin was known as the Buffalo nickel, which had an image of a Native American on one side and a buffalo on the other. But in the late 1930s, the U.S. Mint wanted to honor one of our founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson. So in 1938, they introduced the Jefferson nickel, designed by sculptor Felix Schlag. His design featured a left-facing portrait of Jefferson on the obverse, or front, side, and a depiction of Jefferson's famous Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. One of the most interesting chapters in the history of the Jefferson nickel happened during World War II. From 1942 to 1945, the U.S. Mint needed to save nickel for the war effort, so they changed the metal composition of the coin. During this time, nickels were made of a silver alloy that contained 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. These war nickels are highly collectible today and have a distinct look. Plus, you can spot them easily because they have a large mint mark above Monticello on the reverse side. Moving forward to the 21st century, the design of the Jefferson nickel saw some big changes. In 2003, the U.S. Mint launched the Westward Journey nickel series to commemorate the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition. This brought us some very unique designs in 2004 and 2005, showing images like the keelboat used by Lewis and Clark and a dramatic bison. In 2006, the Mint unveiled a new design for the obverse, featuring a forward-facing portrait of Jefferson by sculptor Jamie Franke. And this is the portrait we still see today. Now let's talk about the 2023 Jefferson nickel. You might be wondering what's different this year. While the core design remains the same, each year the U.S. Mint issues new coins with slight variations, particularly in mint marks and sometimes subtle refinements. The 2023 Jefferson nickel, like recent issues, features Jefferson's forward-facing portrait on the obverse, designed by Jamie Franke, and Monticello on the reverse, keeping that classic look. Look for the mint mark D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. Year to know where your coin was struck. Here's where it gets interesting for the 2023 Jefferson nickel. Unlike the wartime coins, today's nickels are made from a mix of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which gives them their distinct silvery color and durability. Each nickel weighs exactly 5 grams, and its size and composition have remained consistent since 1866. This consistency is impressive, considering the changes in other U.S. coin designs over the years. Now, let's talk value. While circulated 2023 nickels are only worth face value, minus 5 cents coins in pristine condition can be worth more, especially if they're uncirculated or graded highly by companies like Pegs or Nank. Collectors often look for full steps on the reverse, which means the steps of Monticello are perfectly struck and very clear. These full steps nickels can add some premium value to your coin if they're in mint condition. And now for some fun facts. Did you know that the Jefferson nickel is the longest-running U.S. coin series, to feature the same person. Or that Jefferson nickels make up around 1/3 of all nickels produced by the U.S. Mint since 1938, it's estimated that over 70 billion Jefferson nickels have been minted in total. So, there you have it, the history, design, and little-known facts about the 2023 Jefferson nickel. Next time you see one of these in your pocket change, take a moment to appreciate the details and the history behind it. What's your favorite U.S. coin, or do you have any interesting nickels in your collection? Drop a comment below and let's chat about it. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all things coins and collectibles. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on